Hola y bienvenido a Worship Culture Podcast. Aquí encontrarás una diversidad de conversaciones que Art y Lea han tenido juntos, pero también conversaciones con amigos, con invitados especiales que han tenido en este programa. Así que ponte tus audífonos, relájate, sírvete un cafecito y disfruta este nuevo episodio aquí en Worship Culture Podcast.
Worship leaders, kind of like worship. Okay, here's my theme: the lack of agreement, lack of unity in worship teams. How? Worship. I've seen like there's the worship leader and then there's the music director. For me, they have to work hand in hand
For sure.
to a point. I know each experience is different, meaning that maybe there's a worship leader that has a lot more experience, years running through this, and there's an MD who's kind of new or not new, whatever the case is. But there has to be some sort of agreement of like, what's the vision? Where are we going with this, right? Because I see too much, for example, worship leaders that just pick songs here, you know? And then like, as a musician, you'll see some of the songs just like, oh, okay. And here's another problem. A lot of opinions between, one and the other. One might feel that this set list or these songs won't work. For example, I'm going to put my case. I've seen set lists where it's arroz con mango. And it's just like, why is this song, here, Or what about when maybe a worship leader picks a song, but the MD doesn't feel with the song? But we go back to the same thing. The worship leader picking the songs, and just throwing to the musician, and your job as an MD just do what they say. Why can't there be an agreement, right?
Yeah.
Why can't we just kind of like filter things together, or throwing 3 new songs in one set list, or a super difficult medley, and then here goes another one. When it comes to like, I guess the worship leaders that just sometimes like maybe try to do too much, or again, there's no filter. And for me, here's like a big one, super medleys. Like I'm tired of them.
Super medleys.
What is super medleys? We finish a song, we go into a worship song, and then you just throw in 5 songs in 2 minutes. Why? Is it because like you see it happen on YouTube and you kind of want to replicate it?
Right, because it's kind of like a thing happening. Everybody's doing it, kind of thing.
Yeah, but have you seen that, or do you know what I'm talking about? Or not really?
Yeah.
Entonces, what happens? We fall into this problem where a lot of worship teams want to replicate a moment. A moment isn't something you replicate. It's something that happens in your. You cultivate that in your secret time, and you cultivate that as a team together. So it's not just about rehearsals and showing up every week, but it's also about cultivating those moments together off the stage.
Yeah.
¿Sí me entiendes?
Yeah.
So I can assure you that there will be more chemistry off a stage than me coming every week, rehearse on stage, right? And play what you want, right? And then, it's just like, I'm just doing what this person says. Mm-hmm. So in reality, a musician, I feel like I'm clocking into an Amazon church shift.
Wow. Because
I'm just doing what somebody tells me. And if I don't do it, I'm in rebellion. Right? So it's just like, where's the unity in that? And then like the worship leader says, like, let's say the musician says, or the MD, more than anything. And every musician can have their voice. But let's say the MD has the closest one to meet to the worship leader and be like, if you say, oh, I don't know about this song to assign to my, because here's the thing about musicians, we think about the other musicians. I'm not thinking about me, personally, Jay Moncada. I'm thinking about the other musicians who maybe can't play these type of songs, or, people who are learning. What about the volunteers? What about the new ones that are coming along? What about if we have the same people, but, they don't have the same time as, in my case, as another musician who can learn, difficult songs or whatever the case is, or a very complex set list. I'm thinking about them. And if I say, hey, no, like, can we switch it up? No, just do what I said. Don't, I want to do it, y punto. So it's just like, but why can't we come into an agreement? Because you're only thinking about what you want to do. You're thinking about yourself. For me, that's selfish.
Yeah.
Right? And when you do these super medleys, you have to understand not every musician can catch on. That's something you cultivate. This whole catching on thing, like these spontaneous moments that, for example, me personally, Jay Moncada, I've learned through time that we cultivate that. I've cultivated that with you, and that's how I'm able to, like, there's been history, there's been experience right?
Mhm.
And sure, it's a challenge, but at the same time, like, I don't see anything wrong. I don't see what's so wrong with like having an agreement and just kind of being on the same page when it comes to certain things. Because if not, that's my main thing, and I'll let you decide what you want to record from there. But it's just like I see that a lot. Worship leaders just want to do their own thing, and as the musician, you just gotta do it y punto, you know.
Right.
But are you even like aware of what's going on around your surrounding?
Mm.
Remember, the song is not serving you. We're supposed to serve, you know, like
A church.
the church. It's not about what I feel. Or, for example, musicians, worship leaders who pick a song that's super personalized, and you know what type of songs I'm talking about. All right, those type of songs that talk about, you know, me and then this and that. Just like we need to filter. There's nothing wrong with saying, but this part of the song is so powerful. Okay, so let's try to come up with a song, an arrangement where we transition to the chorus of a song. We don't have to. There's certain things, but again, for me, my dilemma is that worship leaders that just like don't allow anybody else to have a voice.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'm just clocking into a shift, and this is not a team. This is not a family.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, I got a couple of things to say about that.
Unless you feel it's not a subject to really talk about.
No, I
It's
think
fine.
it is. The first thing I would say is when there is no harmony and there's no unity in the team, it's because there's no culture and there's no vision.
Yeah.
Um,
Quiet resentment. That's a good one. Resentimiento silencioso.
yeah,
Resentimiento callado. You get resented as a musician. You feel rejected. That
For
your
sure.
voice doesn't matter.
for sure.
But
Yeah. So it's like, I feel like number one, the leader doesn't have the vision for the team.
it's for themselves. You're using the team to how you can look good.
Right. So because he doesn't have the vision for the team, he doesn't have the vision for where the Lord is wanting to take the team, you know, even in worship. And that's where it becomes frustrating for everybody else. But I also think that, can I be honest? I think that that leader might be struggling with a lot of things. He might be struggling with, what do you call it? Burnout. He might be struggling with, you know, I'm done with this. You know, he might have a lot of things in his mind and stuff like that. It's like, because that's just not, you know, that's not healthy at all. The way he's thinking, you know, the way that that he's just kind of like, this is what I want to do, and you have no voice for it at all, you know. And it's like, what I would have asked that guy, or girl,
All right.
is, I might sound like a broken record, but it's like, hey, when was the last time you had a break? When was the last time you actually had some time with Jesus? You know, because trust me, I've seen this attitude before, bro, and I've had it before. And I feel like the more we get bitter, the more bitter we get, it's the more far away we are from God. And it's like we've lost the joy of what we do, you know? And when you lose the joy of what you do, I feel like, you know, it's you're gonna drown the boat with you. Everybody else is coming down with you. I feel like it gets to a point where it's like nobody else matters but you. You know? Does that make sense?
Yep.
And so, yeah, what's the solution to that? It's opening your heart to that worship leader and letting them know like exactly what you're looking at, you know. And sometimes all you got to do is just be like, hey, you good, man? You okay? Is everything good at home? You know, are you okay? Because, man, I know I've known a lot of worship leaders that are struggling with so much stuff, so much garbage, bro, and nobody knows about it. I'm not excusing him, but I do know, like, ¿cómo se le dice eso? Those symptoms are familiar with me. You know, the symptoms of síntomas de, you know, like, you don't have a voice. I don't care. You know, that's the song I want to do, in punto. And it's just kind of like that's not healthy. That's a heart that is screaming for help, and and I'm talking about leaders that do that constantly, right? That do it all the time, every rehearsal, every worship day, whatever. Porque todos podemos tener un día malo, right? Hey, ya, pero se pide disculpas, perdón, anoche o el otro día en ensayo, la tuve mal. But I think the solution here is to have a real conversation with that person. Does that make sense?
I think a lot of the solutions, or a lot of these problems, the solution is that you gotta stop the show, the show or the image of like, oh, the worship leader's perfect, so like there could possibly be nothing wrong with them, right? But it's just like they're the first ones to probably get the most burnt out, attacks, all these things, frustrated, and nobody can see the mess. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to expose the mess. We don't want to expose the garbage or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to conceal it by not saying anything.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the right.
That's horrible. That's y eso. A ver, ¿cómo lo puedo decir? How can I say this? That's the beginning of the downhill for a worship leader. El punto cuando uno llega a pretender de que no hay nada mal o nada malo, de que uno está bien. Hermano, ¿cómo estás? Super, bro. Super good. Sí. It's like, no, you're not. When you stop being vulnerable, that's the scary part, bro. Because, then you start being self-sufficient. You don't need anybody. Ya no necesitas a nadie, and then you start going downhill. And so, por eso es que yo siempre predico esto, man. It's like, es tan importante tener una comunidad con la que te puedas abrir, con la que puedas, ser vulnerable. Y que puedas extender, no extender, sino que puedas decir, hey, necesito ayuda. Even if you're the pastor or worship leader, it's like, we need that. So I'm not sure if that made sense for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, but that's so good, bro. That's so good. But it was more of a conversation.
I like it.
I like that.
Quiet resentment, loss of joy, silent frustration, all these things. It just, in the silence, it tends to happen. As a musician, let me get away from drift a little bit from the worship leader. As a musician, it's like frustrating, just like, oh, I just gotta do what they say and that's it, know? So it's easy to kind of judge a musician. Oh, he just does this and that. It's just like, but do I even have a voice here? Yikes. I don't even know if I have a voice. So why am I going to waste my time saying anything? Why am I going to waste my time investing in, intentions and vulnerability here? Because what I say won't matter. And that's the scary part. Yeah, and that's where musicians end up falling into, like, I'm done with this. And they end up falling into like, that all these toxic traits that people like to put the title on a musician, but it's just like, as the worship leader, we gotta create that space. For sure. I'll say this again. To me, I think a worship team can create and gain more chemistry together off the stage than on it. Oh, yeah. Off the instrument, off the microphone, off the spotlight. To me, it's like, you shouldn't even be doing it on stage. That's what I'm saying. There's no way you could do that. But that's the thing. They think all it is just come, rehearse, sound check, sing, and go home. Mm-hmm. That's the thing, though. That's what I'm saying. But see, that worries me, though. That's the thing. It goes back to the heart. It's like, are you tired? At least to the worship leader. If a worship leader has those traits of like, yo, let's get this done. I'm here. I got better things to do. Like, that's my concern. My concern as another worship leader, as a pastor, let's just say as a pastor, like if I see those traits over my worship leader, it would worry me. I would sit him down and be like, hey, are you okay?
You know what I'm saying? Like, is everything all right? Like, are you tired? Do you not want to do this anymore? Are you doing this because te toca? You know, y yo siempre comparto esto, bro. I always talk about it on carousels and on Instagram. It's like when you yell at the church or when you get mad at the church, you know, you're not doing it out of love. When you lose love, you're going to abuse the church. You're going to abuse your musicians. You're going to abuse your team. When you lose your joy, you're going to, you know, become bitter. And it's like, this is why it's so important to actually recognize when you need to rest and when it's not time to rest, you know? And like, I know we're dialoguing, right? We're is that how you say it?
Yeah, we're just having a conversation.
We're having a conversation, but it's like, I would encourage that worship leader to take a break. Like, go spend time with your family, man. Go figure your life out. Go figure out what's bothering you, you know? Because, yeah, when you come to your worship team or you show up and you just show up to like practice and hear the songs and you don't want to hear anybody else, like, that's just, I feel like that's a bitter heart, bro.
Yes, sir.
You know? Y eso me preocupa porque we're not supposed to be bitter. Ministry is not supposed to make you bitter. You make yourself bitter because you don't have boundaries.
That's
Healthy boundaries.
You chose to make yourself bitter.
You don't have a vision, so every time you show up, it's just like es un desorden, y eso te cansa. You know, so it's like, you know, I go back to this to the thing I said in the beginning. It's like, what's the culture you're establishing in your team? That's important. If you don't have one, then it's gonna be a mess. If you don't have a vision, it's gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
You know, and so.
But it's up to you, bro.
No, I think this is it.
Also, we're keeping it in English.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I'll put subtitles.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the whole thing. It could these little points.
Yeah.
Little random points.
I think this was really good.
You know, those random points. But
It was more of a conversation.
I like it.
I like that.
Quiet resentment. Loss of joy. Silent frustration. You know, all these things. It just, in the silence, it tends to happen.
Hey guys, espero que hayan disfrutado este episodio de hoy. Espero que haya edificado tu corazón, pero en verdad lo que deseo que suceda después de este episodio es que te haya impactado tan profundamente que puedas cumplir el propósito de Dios en tu vida y cambiar el mundo. Soy Art Aguilera y esto ha sido todo por hoy. Nos vemos en el próximo episodio.